Shalom, friends. Thank you for joining me for another discussion of the spirituality of some ideas in Jewish life. And it's October. The High Holy Days are behind us and we're moving now into this new year. And it's a year so different from anything we ever could have imagined, anything we've experienced before. And yet our tradition is here to ground us and to connect us, especially when things in the world seem so chaotic. And so I wanted to share with you this month some ideas and thoughts about this Jewish concept of new beginnings, of a new year. It is a new year, but how do we do that? How do we make it a better new year, especially when the future is so unknown? So I heard an author by the name of Bruce Feiler speaking recently about his new book called It's All in the Transitions. And one of the conversations that he was having with his interview subjects for this book was he was asking them to think of a shape that described their life. And some people said a heart, or a window, or a door opening. Some people said a home, or hands holding, or family. But no one said a line. And Bruce had surmised, and his research had shown, that this idea of a linear life is actually dead in our time. The idea that time flows in order from one important event to the next smoothly at even intervals, that we grow up, we go to school, we get a job, we settle down, we raise our children, and then we repeat the whole cycle over and over, that kind of reality is just not the case for most people in this day and age. That new things, big twists and turns of life can happen at any age. In fact, his research showed that most people in our modern world experience at least 36 different significant changes or transitions in their lifetimes. Some are good, like a new job or a new baby or a new opportunity, and some are difficult, like a loss or an illness. But change does come. There are so many different kinds of twists and turns in modern life today. And so our lives are not shaped like a line anymore. And I've thought about this linear image a lot because in Judaism too, we are sometimes under the impression that we're on a ladder and we're climbing upwards. And while of course we're always trying to improve and deepen and enrich our lives with holiness and with mitzvot, there is a danger that this kind of strictness and adding more and more to our practices actually detracts from the mitzvah that we're trying to accomplish itself. And my husband Kevin and I always used to joke with our rabbinical school friends that there was this kind of race to out-Jew each other. That everybody kept kosher, but some people also had kosher toothpaste. And some people also had kosher shampoo and body lotion and kosher phones. That there was this kind of race to always do a little bit more. And in Judaism, that's actually not the case. Sometimes doing less, sometimes being more lenient is the proper choice. That stricter isn't always better. And this image of climbing is not always climbing higher when it's just for the purpose of adding something that may not be necessary. So I've come to think about a different kind of shape, especially for Jewish life. And the shape that speaks to me is a spiral. A nice round and smooth, and hopefully it's an upward trending spiral, but it's a spiral. It's not a full circle, and it's certainly not a line. A spiral is more gentle and forgiving than a line. And a spiral also allows us to see what was behind us and also what's ahead of us. We're not just spinning our wheels going in the same circle over and over, but we are certainly connected to what's behind us and what's ahead of us. And so what does that mean for this time of year when we're at a new year? Is this fully a new beginning that's just cut off from everything from the past? Is it one more step on our existing spiraling path? And like all good Jewish questions, the answer is yes. Yes to all of that. In some New Year's, maybe it is a whole new beginning. Maybe it is a big transition. Maybe we're jumping one whole rung of our spiral to another whole rung. Maybe we're even leaving our old spiral shape and we're moving to a new spiral and moving on that path. New beginnings can be just that. They can be completely and totally new. And then other years, maybe it's not quite so radical. Maybe it's just a few gentle steps. Maybe it's even a reverse to something that we've been missing and that we want to go back to. Teshuvah, our process of looking at ourselves and repairing, actually means returning, coming back to our best intention, to our original neshama that is pure and full of potential. Backwards movement can actually be progress too. And so that's why I like this shape of a spiral. It reminds me of that childhood toy, the Slinky, that could go in all directions, but it still held its shape. So I wonder what shape you would use to describe your life. How does the image of a line or a spiral feel to you? Is this new year about a big leap? Is it about returning to a past passion or something of comfort? Or is this a new year of slow and steady? There is room for all of these experiences in our Jewish lives. And I wish you a Nesiya Tova, a good journey on whichever shape your new year takes. Shabbat Shalom.